Before we begin, I want to share something unusual. Several women have urged me not to release this video. Some worried that I was revealing too much, while others insisted that certain secrets of women should remain in the shadows. However, I believe the truth cannot be hidden forever. You deserve to understand what lies behind women's behaviors and ways of interacting when it comes to psychology and attraction. Behind it all are subtle, hidden truths, carefully masked in everyday communication. This is not just a handful of tricks, but an entire system of thought and action that men rarely recognize. It is precisely these differences that create a mysterious allure, leaving many men puzzled or even powerless when trying to make sense of women's actions. And that is also why some people wish this video would never see the light of day. The ideas presented here are not intended to teach anyone how to manipulate or control others. What truly matters is recognizing the psychological principles that naturally exist in relationships between men and women and understanding how they work. Without this awareness, many men often feel confused by women's seemingly unpredictable reactions. On the other hand, with a clearer perspective, they can avoid falling into a passive role and respond more thoughtfully in each situation. To provide further support, the speaker also introduces a free ebook. This resource explores hidden psychological mechanisms, analyzes how women project their sense of attraction, and explains why they behave according to certain patterns, rather than stopping at what is shared in the video. The book serves as a reference guide that allows readers to actively study and apply these insights for themselves. It is not a vague invitation but a way to encourage men to broaden their understanding and step out of uncertainty in their relationships. Strategic silence. In many forms of communication, especially during arguments or sensitive conversations, women often choose silence. Many men mistakenly interpret this quietness as disinterest, indifference, or even a sign that the relationship is ending. In reality, silence is often more deliberate than it appears. It functions like a carefully constructed pause, forcing the other person to confront their own thoughts and emotions. When a woman stops responding immediately, men usually begin to speculate. Did I say something wrong? What is she thinking right now? Should I explain myself further? This internal questioning frequently exposes their anxiety, impatience, or even fear of losing connection. From there, women can observe and better understand how deeply he cares, how secure or insecure he really is, and what emotional buttons can be pushed. What is fascinating is that many women may not even be consciously aware that they are using silence as a tactic. For some, it has become an instinctive part of interaction. Yet whether intentional or not, the impact is undeniable. Silence places the man in a position where he must reflect, fill the void with his own words or actions, and often work harder to restore balance in the exchange. In this sense, silence is far more than the absence of speech. It is a subtle but powerful instrument. Through it, women can protect their emotional space while simultaneously learning about the true character and emotional depth of the person in front of them. Strategic silence, therefore, is less about withdrawal and more about creating a mirror, one that reveals what words alone often cannot. Emotional mirroring. Women possess a remarkable ability to quickly sense the emotional state of the person in front of them. With just a few subtle cues, tone of voice, eye contact, body language, they can detect where your mood is and how you are feeling. Almost instinctively, they adjust their behavior to create harmony with that energy. This alignment often makes men feel understood, connected, and more at ease in the interaction. Yet this adaptation does more than simply build closeness. While mirroring emotions, women are also paying careful attention to your reactions. They observe what excites you, what makes you hesitate, how you respond to pressure, and how you behave in unexpected situations. All of these observations serve as valuable insights into your personality, strengths, and vulnerabilities. Interestingly, this process is not always deliberate. For many women, it is a natural blend of empathy and social sensitivity rather than a conscious strategy. Still, whether intentional or instinctive, the effect is powerful. Emotional mirroring works both as a bridge for connection and as a mirror that reflects aspects of yourself you might not even realize you are showing. That is why, in conversation, when you notice a woman quickly adjusting to your emotional state, it is not merely simple empathy at play. It is a refined form of communication, one that both deepens rapport and gathers subtle information at the same time. And for men, recognizing this dynamic can be a valuable lesson. Emotional intelligence and the ability to read the room are not just feminine traits. but essential skills anyone can learn to strengthen their own relationships. The secret ranking system. In the minds of many women, there often exists an invisible classification chart for the men around them. It is not something written down, but rather an ongoing evaluation that shifts based on your behavior, attitude, and consistency. The key criteria usually revolve around the level of respect you show, the attraction you project, and the overall value you bring into their lives or relationships. What makes this fascinating is how directly your place on this internal ranking influences the way they interact with you. If you are placed high, you may notice their attention is clear and consistent messages are answered quickly. Plans are arranged with effort, and you are more likely to be introduced to their friends or family. On the other hand, if you are placed lower, responses may come more slowly, meetings can be easily postponed, and the enthusiasm is noticeably reduced. Even more importantly, this ranking is never fixed. A single act of thoughtfulness can move you up, while careless words or insensitive behavior can just as easily bring you down. This constant adjustment reflects a form of self-protection. Women are naturally selective about where to invest their emotional energy, focusing more on those who bring positivity while distancing themselves from situations that drain or harm them. From another perspective, this system should not be viewed as cold calculation. Instead, it is a filtering process, a way to preserve balance, safety, and emotional well-being. Understanding this dynamic can be valuable for men. It provides insight into how women prioritize relationships and serves as a reminder to continuously develop oneself, ensuring you remain in a space where respect, connection, and value are mutually sustained. Sexual gatekeeping. From a very young age, many women are taught that one of their greatest values in love and relationships lies in controlling their sexuality. They are advised to be cautious, not to appear too available, because this directly influences how others perceive them and the reputation they carry. For this reason, even when a woman feels a strong attraction toward a man, she may still delay intimacy, create distance, or set boundaries before moving forward. This behavior does not necessarily mean a lack of desire. More often, it reflects a need for control. By slowing things down, women protect their social image, reduce the risk of being judged negatively, and create space to observe how genuinely committed a man is. These subtle tests can reveal whether he is serious or simply chasing momentary satisfaction. At a deeper level, this dynamic highlights the tension between natural desire and social expectations. Women may want intimacy as much as men, but they are conditioned to restrain or disguise it in order to maintain the upper hand. Sexual gatekeeping, in this sense, allows them to position themselves as the chooser rather than the one being pursued. Understanding this can help men shift their perspective. Instead of seeing delay as rejection, it can be recognized as part of a larger process, a way for women to ensure that the connection is built on sincerity, respect, and patience. In this light, sexual gatekeeping is less about denial and more about safeguarding dignity while reinforcing the power of choice. Exploiting male competition. Within male psychology, the instinct to compete is almost hardwired. When potential rivals appear, men often feel a natural urge to prove themselves, assert dominance, and win a woman's attention. Women are keenly aware of this tendency and, at times, use it to their advantage. When a woman creates the impression that she is desired by many, men's fear of losing out quickly surfaces. They begin to worry that by doing nothing, they might miss their chance. This sense of scarcity raises her perceived value, prompting men to invest more, whether it be time, effort, or emotion, in order to stand out as the best option. But competition isn't only fueled by the perception of being pursued. Physical attractiveness also plays a strong role. A woman who carries herself with confidence and charm naturally captures male attention, sparking a desire to compete for her approval. Beyond appearance, sexual vitality can also serve as a subtle yet powerful form of leverage. When a man senses strong chemistry or connection, he often feels compelled to work harder to sustain the relationship, reinforcing his competitive drive. It is important to note that this dynamic does not always stem from manipulation. Rather, it reflects the way women understand and respond to male psychology. By presenting themselves as valued and sought after, they maintain control and influence over how men engage with them. For men, recognizing this pattern is crucial. Instead of being unconsciously drawn into rivalry, they can approach such situations with awareness, confidence, and a clearer sense of choice. The final message is not a rigid lesson, nor is it a set of instructions to follow. It is a gentle reminder for men, in love, in emotional bonds, and in physical intimacy. Self-respect and inner strength must come first. Do not seek validation by begging or by losing yourself just to please someone else. When you remain steady and confident, love and closeness take on a deeper meaning built on mutual respect rather than dependency. Sometimes the wisest choice is not to cling, but to step back, focus on your own growth, and allow the other person to recognize your true worth. In that quiet distance, you do not vanish, instead, you become a lasting presence, a memory that lingers, a figure not easily forgotten. And if love is genuine, it will not disappear, it will return stronger, with both people more mature and more aware of each other's value. Thank you for listening until the very end. If today's story has gently stirred your heart, whether through an old memory, a present feeling, or something never spoken into words, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Intimate wisdom is where we come together to touch the hidden corners of love, affection, and sexuality, things that may seem private, yet are in fact the very core of happiness. I wish you to always love deeply, live truthfully, and find yourself in every glance, every touch, and every trembling heartbeat. Affectionate greetings.